Hello, it's Heather, and I'm back with a new video. This week, I'm going to be talking about Disney's 12th animated full-length feature, which is Cinderella. And I think that this is a lot of people's favorite Disney movie. I could be wrong, but I wasn't actually a huge fan of this movie growing up, but as with a lot of these older movies, all these older films, I do find myself enjoying them a lot more as an adult and appreciating them a lot more. And I'm actually really happy now that I've started watching the full length features again and got through the package films. I feel like it's more I feel more appreciative of these like full length features and these like whole animated films, especially since this came in like 1950 and there were still a lot of things developing in animation, and I just think it's incredible what they've done, and I'm glad I can appreciate that more now. So talking about that, I really like the opening credits. I think that they're really well done. The art looks really nice. Again, this is still going through the credits at the beginning, so I'm still looking for that when the credits switch over to the end. I think it's in the 70s, but I could be wrong. I could look it up, I suppose, but I kind of want to find out on my own. But I think that the credits are really nice. The first scene, we see Cinderella waking up in the morning. She's got her own room at the top of a little tower, and I always thought that was like really cool, actually. I just think it's not all the stairs that go up to it, probably not as fun, but I just thought that was really cool, and I've always kind of wanted like a room like that. So I didn't really have a room growing up. I didn't really ever have a room to myself, so I just think it's like any like character that has like a room to themselves and has like some kind of cool feature to it, like this big window or something. I was just kind of jealous of it. Then we meet the mice afterwards shortly, and she's like referring to her little mice friends, and then she finds the little fat short one. He's stuck in a little cage, and she gets him out, and then she names him Octavius, which but they call him Gus, which I never realized was short for Octavius. So kind of like a couple of funny things I've noticed. So listening to the characters, especially with the mice, they have this like little specific sound that they make. He keeps like saying zik zik or something like that. And it just reminds me of like Professor Egad from Luigi's Mansion, and I don't know if they specifically are referencing Cinderella from it. But I just think it is kind of interesting. It sounds like it's almost the exact same type of like audio inflection. So also when Lucifer the cat, you meet him, he does this like meowing / roaring thing. It's not really a meow, it just he kind of like bellows. It sounds almost identical to the roar from the wolf from Peter and the Wolf from Make Mine Music, and they probably reused that sound, I'm sure, but I just thought that was kind of funny coming from a house cat. It's funny, Cinderella, so she's wandering around the house, she's trying to do chores for her step-siblings and her, stepmom and all that, and she loses her shoe while she's walking up the stairs to feed her family. I wonder if that's foreshadowing, possibly. And I was just thinking about the animation of the characters, especially with Drizella and Anastasia and Lady Tremaine especially. Their animation it's like really amazing, actually. It's kind of creepy, but it's so well done. I think it's actually also the first Disney animated movie to pass the Bechdel test, because they're all women, they all talk to each other, and they do talk about stuff other than a guy, so maybe not the best example, but it definitely feels like it's a little, maybe it's like ahead of its time a little bit, just because of that one fact, so it's kind of nice. One thing I do remember about growing up was I had this big storybook, and it had literary versions of some of the older Disney films, and Cinderella was included in this book, and I think it went to the 70s. I got this book like on my birthday in 1985, so there wasn't like that many films before that. I think the last animated film that was finished before I was born was The Fox and the Hound, I want to say. because the same year The Black Cauldron came out, and I haven't seen that movie, so I'm actually looking forward to watching that. But I had this big storybook, and it had high resolution images of like screenshots and just pictures from the movie, and I think that it was like it had this like amazing stills, and Cinderella has like such amazing artwork in it. It's just so nice and grand looking and so amazing looking, and the artist did like such an incredible job on the backgrounds and the environments in this movie. I think that's, between the animation of the characters and the environments of it, I think those are like by far and beyond like the two best things about this movie. When I record these like little blurbs on it, when I'm talking about the film and everything, I do pretty much text to speech most times, and it's just easier because it's like then I could just talk about it and then I can edit it afterwards if I need to. But I was thinking of the lyrics to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, and I was like, well, what was that gonna like specifically say? I watch a lot of movies with the subtitles, especially like the older movies, because it's easier to like just hear things, even though they are like higher quality nowadays. They're not like, it's not watching it like on VHS or anything, but it is still a little easier to like keep it along with the movie, and then especially with like these characters like the mice and everything, which are kind of just like making a bunch of noises. So I had the subtitles on when the fairy godmother shows up, and I spoke what she said, the lyrics, and what she said was, I'll post it here on the screen. It says, "Celica do, la Michigan boo, bibbidi bobbidi boo." One thing I actually kind of like wondered when so the whole story, everyone knows she loses her glass slipper, turns midnight, da, da, da. Okay, everyone gets that. Everyone knows the story of Cinderella. I don't think I need to explain it. But she loses her glass slipper, and then I always just wondered why it didn't disappear too. And I'm sure a lot of people have wondered that, because they never explain any of that. Like, she just says everything's gonna go back to normal, but then she keeps one slipper, and then one slipper is still there. So I don't understand where they came from. Overall, the movie says that the moral of the story is, if you wish hard enough, your dreams will come true. But I feel like the real moral of the story is to make really good friends with mice, because they are honestly the true heroes of this movie. They saved Cinderella. And you can fight me if you want to argue with that. So a lot of the package films don't have the bonus features included on the Disney Plus version. I suppose I could try to go look for them, but I did do some research on my own, trying to find things and learn things about it. But Cinderella luckily did have some bonus features. Not as many exactly as I was hoping, because I was hoping there was a whole making of like sequence, but unfortunately there was not. But there were some bonus features I thought were interesting. For example, there's an alternate opening sequence that really only changes one line. So it adds a line about why Cinderella doesn't just leave or run away, and she responds by saying that there's just so much to do, I can't leave. And I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of that, even asking that question. So that's probably why they deleted that. Another deleted scene that's included is the Cinderella work song, and basically it's just about how Cinderella wishes that she could clone herself to do more work. I do feel like that song is a little redundant, so I can see why they cut it, and the song is pretty repetitive. It does repeat a lot of the same lyrics over and over. It's kind of catchy, but there's definitely the songs that they chose for this film were a lot better, a lot stronger songs. Then there's another short film included, and it's called The Magic of the Glass Slipper, and it's about famous shoe designer Christian Louboutin, and how he used Cinderella as inspiration for creating shoes. I thought it was kind of cute. I do like the animation spliced in with like the little mice helping him out and everything creating, and it was just cute. So then the last featurette is called The Real Fairy Godmother, and it's about Mary Alice O'Connor, who was the wife of layout artist Ken O'Connor. And she was the inspiration for the fairy godmother as a whole, as a character. And she was just an all-around stand-up and wonderful person, and she definitely deserves to be remembered. And this is a really nice and short documentary on here. I really, really liked it. It was probably one of the best things I had seen after a film, so I enjoyed that one a lot. But one thing I do want to talk about in this drawing is I did make her dress silver because I feel like the actual coloring is silver colored. It's always interpreted as blue in media and merchandising and things like that, but I feel like it just comes off as blue because her dress is only seen at night and it's like possibly the shading of the lighting. I feel like it's actually closer to silver colored. And I also drew her a little more on the thinner side because I feel like that fits her character better considering she's working all the time. And one other thing I did add to the original design was, I know they updated the Disney princess look a few years back, and some of them were kind of iffy, but I kind of do like Cinderella's a little bit because they did add like the little I don't even know what they're called, I draw them on Erin's hair. But like the little tendrils on the side of her head, they're kind of like just like little side bangs, I guess, or whatever they're called. Like I added that to her original hairstyle and not the new hairstyle they gave her with like the side sweep bangs, because her original hairstyle is very 50s-esque. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, leave comments, subscribe. And I hope you guys are all doing well, continuing to stay safe. I am myself, but it's just a long, tedious process at this point, but I am continuing to do well. I hope you guys are doing well as well. I will see you all in the next one. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye everyone. Thank you as always to my patrons, Andrew Linjo, Ben Wright Human, Brandon Tinge, Colin Warmbrought, Council of Geeks, Dark Leap Master, Hexapus Inc., Jack Mahantenny, Jesse Girona, Merrick Bennett, Story Comic, and as always, a very special thank you to my $10 patrons, Corbin Koval and Steve Zarzinski.